Welcome to Let's Talk About the Deep Stuff. We're diving deep into deep conversations, and I'm your host, Sean Kneese. On this episode, I wanted to talk about self awareness because when it's confidence is talked about, I think sometimes there's two extremes. Sometimes people are over second guessing themselves and being too hard on themselves. And I've fallen into that in the past, and I've gotten better at it over the years. But then there's the other extreme where it's just like not caring at all, regardless of how your actions are affecting other people, or not seeing how your actions could negatively affect people. And I think true confidence isn't never looking at your flaws or never seeing what you're doing wrong. I think it's also understanding your flaws and weaknesses and being able to improve those, but still being confident of yourself at the same time. And I think self-awareness shows true confidence, because it's like, yeah, I sometimes do that inconsiderate thing. I got to work on it, instead of being like, well, I never do that, and just being defensive, because that's an insecurity there. So I kind of wanted to talk about that balance. And I have my friend from improv here, Jason Peak, to join me today. And we recently kind of had a conversation related to this. Maybe just I'll let you kind of chime in and talk about your experience with that and your thoughts on it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for the invite. Honestly, yeah, well, I remember we had this conversation a few Fridays ago after like an improv show, and we're talking about mutual, I guess, no longer a friend, if you will, mutual, I guess, connection at this point. But this person, like um, I don't want to like already knock him right off the bat, but he's at his stage in life where he should be a lot more self-aware of his behavior towards other people. Um, Now, I'm not saying that I'm perfect at all, far from it, but at least I still have knowledge and awareness about myself and how I conduct myself around others. And I try to like either scale it back or maybe improve on this aspect or whatever. But this person, I mean, like in his eyes,
Despite
he
like all
really,
the signs he's doing something wrong, and like all the pushback he's getting, um,
yeah, yeah.
like he
It's like
doesn't change his behavior. So
nope. It's like he can do no wrong kind of a thing. It's like, well, that's not exactly how life works, kind of a thing. Like life is all like in my view, life is always a two-way street. Like it's a give and take in life. Like if something's gonna be lopsided, then the other person's just gonna resent you for eternity, basically. But this person, like whenever I pointed his flaws, personality, whatever, he would shoot it right back at me, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you're right. And then I've noticed too, like after he would say that to me about my personality defects, if you will, he kind of like stepped back a bit too. So in that sense, he does have some capability of kind of showing self reflection, self awareness, but more often than not, he's just, I guess, aloof. He just doesn't know, or I don't know if he just doesn't care, or it could be a combination of both. But um, to me, like if you really want to improve in life, you really have to be self aware of what your defects are and personality and thought processes, conduct, all that stuff. And I always think that's at least half the battle. Now, what you do with that information from that point onwards, I mean, that's a whole different
yeah,
debate. But I still think you have to be self aware first and foremost on what you have to improve to become a better person, to basically become a better you.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
there you
And then in that case, your mistakes can be gifts, because I feel like I've gotten better and done certain things right in certain situations because I did them wrong in the past. Like it took me a while to learn like different social skills things and all that. Like I'm when I was younger, they told me I'm like neurodivergent, but like like a milder spectrum of it. But like through work on myself and stuff, I was like I'm able to look back at like times when I was like 15 to like even like my early 20s, like, oh, I said this, like I really didn't see how that was a
Yep.
wrong thing to say in that situation. And but like at the same time, like I gotten over just like beating myself up, like, oh, why was I like that back then? And I'm just like okay, well, I did that there. So if I did that in that scenario, that means I'll know not to do that now. And because I'm able to have self awareness and look back and improve my actions, that's a gift that helps me be a better version of myself than if I just had no self awareness at all. And
Exactly.
another thought I had is like, if your thoughts about yourself are like super negative, like I'm the worst, I'm the shit, I'm the this, well, not the shit would be positive, I'm shit. And, or the other one is, I'm the greatest, nothing, I can't do anything wrong. I can't, I mean, I guess our president kind of talks like that,
Oh
but,
yeah,
yeah, but like if it's one of those extremes, it's usually not reality. Usually, reality is
oh,
somewhere in the middle. Like you're a flawed,
exactly.
complex human being that's good in some scenarios and not in others.
Exactly, and I do think that with age, people do get wiser. I remember watching like a TV show, and I'm like, older people have higher IQs, and I'm like, how? And the more you think about it, too, it's like it makes a lot of sense because you just have a lot more lived experiences, so you can either correct whatever you've done in the past for that moment that you would face in the future, versus someone who is in their teens, their early 20s, and they're like, well, this is the first time that I'm experiencing these problems, these issues in life, and I guess it's that lizard brain part where they're
Yeah,
kind of like, well, it's like fight or flight kind of mode. It's like, all right, am I gonna duke this out or just run away from the problems, kind of a thing? And yeah, I was pretty much the same way too in my teens and 20s. Like I just had this mentality of I either be angry at the fucking world or just like hide and run away in my room, kind of a thing, and just be depressed about life. But now that I'm 39 now, like looking back at my little 2 decades ago, I mean, that sucks to say, but like 2 decades ago, I look at my old self and I'm like, damn, I'm a fucking asshole. Like I was a fucking asshole back then. I mean, I'm still an asshole now, but I was a bigger asshole back then. I'm like, shit, man. And I kind of see like a lot of similarities in the current youth today too, like teens, early 20s, and I'm like, did I behave like that back then? I'm like, yep, that was me. All right, yeah. It's a good thing I had self awareness to kind of like learn and have like this arc to this point.
yeah,
And again, I'm not perfect at all, but I would say that I've improved a fair bunch since those moments, and I honestly think that's one part of growing up and becoming an adult. It's to learn from past mistakes and um, having that knowledge whenever you confront those issues again in the future to be like, oh, okay, I dealt with this way back then. Now I know how to deal with it a little bit better for I guess the current moment or whatever the future holds.
yeah. I guess that's why they say youth is wasted on the young. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, but that's sometimes you ever get into like sometimes I get into thinking like, damn, like if I could go back to my 20s or my teens, I could have done this and this right. Like knowing this now, like I wonder
Oh yeah,
like what it would be if I could go back with the knowledge I have now.
oh yeah,
Like,
yep,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I always second guess myself too in those situations. I'm like, well, if I just did this thing back then, like, would my life have been a lot? I don't know. I guess better, for lack of a better term, or um, yeah, it really is funny how life just throws you a bunch of forks in the road, and you just decide to take which path, and then it's basically like a rabbit hole. It could just lead you into a completely different direction, or it might have still reached the same
yeah,
conclusion. But obviously, hindsight's always 2020. But I still second guess myself, which I know it's not exactly the healthiest thing for mental sanity. But yeah,
yeah. Well,
I
in its
honestly,
extreme, I guess it's good to have like some humility, but like not always second guessing your action, like being real but considerate. Like I guess
yeah,
words to say,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's a good point too. Like, yeah, being considerate. But for me, I think just at least considering others, like that's just more of an upbringing thing. Like, my parents, my older sister. I only have one other sibling, my older sister, but they did raise me to be considerate of others. Um, to treat others with respect, kind of a thing. So I think that in that aspect, it's the nurture versus nature kind of a thing.
Is that like a cultural thing, or is that just like your
That,
family?
I think it's just more so our family because like I'm a Korean descent. Um, I mean, I still speak the language. I'm still like culturally Korean, if you will, even though I was born and raised here in the U.S. Although I still consider myself more Americanized. But whatever the case is, like when it comes to like Korean culture in general, it's there's this mentality of especially in mainland South Korea, back in the peninsula. There's this, I wouldn't say it's a hierarchy, but there is definitely like this snobbery going on, if that is a word, where certain people just look down on others. I'm like, why though? Like
Hmm.
we all, like, no matter what your job is, like we all play a part in society. Like if there's no janitors in the world, like the streets would be
Yeah,
filled with
you're saying in
garbage
Korea, and you're saying that was in Korean culture, or where was that? Or
in
here in the
Korean
U.S.?
culture.
Yeah, because I see it here in the U.S. too. So that kind
Yeah,
of
true, true, yeah.
yeah,
But like, so in terms of like being ethnically Korean and being born and raised in the U.S., like, yeah, obviously I have like both knowledge of how both societies operate. Like, yeah, there's this kind of like looking down on certain people, the homeless, certain lower wage positions. Like, but why though? Like, homeless people, like you and I could be homeless after,
yeah,
like, if we miss a couple of paychecks and we can't pay rent. Like the homeless people that are out there, they might be in that same situation, whether it's self-induced or whether it's societal or whether it's familial, whatever the case is. They're just down on their luck. There's no reason to like hate them or anything. For some reason, I was having this conversation with an Uber driver recently about like homeless people, and he and I both agreed like there's really no reason to hate on homeless people, and you don't have to be scared of them. I mean, yeah, like the homeless people are kind of portrayed as boogeymen on the news whenever they
yeah,
attack someone randomly, but whenever I've had homeless people approach me for something, it's like, hey, can I spare $1? I'm like, yeah, sure, well, whatever, I'll give you $1. Like, I'm not gonna like chase them away, kind of a thing. But like, fuck you, get away from me. Now, sometimes, like, depending on my mood, I might be like that, just grumpy New Yorker. But more often than not, like the homeless people, they obviously they have this mentality of they're invisible, which, I mean, they kind of are in society. They're invisible.
yeah,
No one really looks at them. No one wants to talk to them. No one wants to associate with them. But the reason why I think that they're just pissed off is because of the fact that they are invisible. It's like the rest of society doesn't want to engage with them. Me, I'm like, sure, whatever. As long as you don't fucking rob me or punch me, I don't give a fuck. I'll
yeah,
fucking engage with them. Whatever. We'll share a cigarette. I don't care. But uh, like, yeah, and that's that. But
yeah,
trying to
and
like,
also like I think people don't realize that like they always say get a job with homeless people, but there's
yeah,
homeless people who work too. They just can't afford
exactly.
a place to stay. I'm not gonna reveal this person's name, but a friend of mine, like he um, became homeless with his wife and kid in a car, and he works I think like 80 hours a week at a supermarket or something like that, and they still can't afford a place to stay. So like there's stories like that out there, like especially with how high like the cost of living is and everything
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and I honestly don't understand that. It's like no one's better than anyone else. Like I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. Sorry, some weird pop up.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyway, yeah, like in my eyes, like yeah, this might be viewed as like communism or whatever, or socialism, whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, like if you're a practicing Christian or whatever religion it is, like Jesus taught, like we're all equals. We're all fucking equals, no matter what your
Yeah.
background is, how much money you have, what skin color you are. We're all supposed to be fucking equal. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It really is kind of disheartening how like humanity just kind of devolved. I want to say since like caveman times to
Yeah.
now. I mean, yeah, we have technology like you and I are obviously talking through this magical creation called the internet
Mhm.
and computer. We have a camera right in front of us, microphone, and all that stuff. And yeah, we have enough money to at least have a roof over our heads and have cable TV or
Yeah.
Netflix, whatever. But like have we really advanced from our caveman days in the sense of, well, I might see you as a stranger, and if we don't know each other and we kind of like look at each other just one wrong way, we might try to fight to kill each other, kind of a thing. And honestly,
Yeah.
it's not that different between then and now. It's basically the same thing. It's just like tribalism mindset. I
And then
mean,
in a way,
yes,
that's the more important thing to evolve. Like if we didn't have like fancy technology, but we had a kinder society, maybe that would be better. You know, maybe that's the way we should evolve more. Like, you know, because if we go to space
that
and
is
we're
true.
just where people are suffering and we're just, you know, run by powerful sociopaths and everything, then well, what's the good of going to space in that case? You know? Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, we're gonna colonize Mars and basically make
yeah,
it Earth 2.0 and just bring the
yeah,
same bullshit from here to over there. Now we have two planets of fucking inequality and bullshit, like
yeah.
and
I think I
snobbery and all that
understand
stuff.
why
Like,
the aliens never land. They just kind of circular.
yeah,
They know not to like land here because we're crazy. So
oh yeah, I guarantee you that they're listening down with their powerful mic hearing aids, and they're like, yeah, fuck that. Let's just go to like Uranus or something.
yeah,
Not well, not your anus, but the planet or Jupiter or whatever, some shit. Uh, or like another galaxy. They're like, nah, fuck this Earth bullshit. They're fucking weirdos. Um, but yeah, and that again boils down to just being self aware. Like, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people are aware of how they behave towards others, but also at the same time, I think a lot of people don't care either. What I mean
yeah,
by that is, yeah, they're aware of how they behave towards others, but they're like, fuck it, the world it treats me unfairly, so you know what? As a big fuck you, I'm gonna act a certain way between now till the day I die, kind of a thing, and that's about as bad as not having self
yeah,
awareness. And don't get me wrong, like I will be guilty of falling into that habit, that mindset of, all right, the world's mistreating me. You know what? Fuck it. I will be angry and miserable and just be like, oh, whatever, don't talk to me, kind of a thing for at least like a week. But then after a while, I start thinking again. I'm like, okay, there's really no reason to be all in a sour mood and kind of negative. So just wake up, roll out of bed, just just go about my day, just go to work, whatever, and just try to be positive as possible, or at the very least neutral. If I'm not going to be positive, at the very least be neutral. And what do I mean by neutral? Just don't be happy, don't be sad, just be fucking neutral. And honestly, I think life is really all about balance. Like you need an equilibrium of
yeah.
stuff. Like, um,
Yeah, because if you're
yeah,
in extreme
and like
high all the time, it's gonna crash, and extreme low, like that could always go up. You know, it's like the middle is like the more
exactly, and
stable.
exactly like in like the South Korean flag, there's yin and yang right here, however I could point it, right there.
Yeah,
It's all about equality. You know, it's supposed to be equal.
the
Um,
Taoist symbol. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yep, like Confucianism, Buddhism, and all that stuff.
yeah,
And when you think about it too, like American politics, like the reason why it's so polarized, I think it's because of the fact that it's just like a symptom of our um of the state of the country. Like you have people who are extreme MAGA, and now here in New York, you have the quote unquote democratic socialist slash communist Zoran Mamdani. But I mean, in a sense, like on the political spectrum, like on the horseshoe scale, they're like at they're supposed to be at the polar ends, but on the horseshoe, they're pretty much they kind of meet right in the middle, kind of a thing. So it's like a wraparound, like I guess centrism, if you will.
what do you mean, like
And I think
meeting in the middle? Like you think on some level they all want people to be okay, or what do you mean? Like basically,
so in the sense of so well, obviously with Trump, like he's still a populist. It's just from the right wing
yeah,
spectrum, while Mamdani is a populist on left wing spectrum. They kind of want to bring, I guess, people in poverty to like a certain position, and they say certain things that'll make the electorate vote for them. But it's how do I say this? It's like two sides of the same coin kind of a thing. I'm drawing a blank now. It's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
They
Well,
yeah,
except for
it's like
like the depends on which one's on the right, because like except for like the like the extreme like Christian nationalist types and all that, like
yeah,
fuck those people. But
yeah,
like the regular, just
yeah,
like people who vote
yeah,
Republican, like the average person. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like so the point I'm trying to make, it's like moderate politics, whether you're Democrat or Republican, that's pretty much what a lot of people are in general, just generally speaking. Like we're in that category of either center left, center, or center right. Um, the reason why I think a lot of people gravitate towards the MAGA movement or Zora Mamdani here in New York and or certain pockets of the country as well is, all right, you know what? Fuck moderate politics. I want to be as extreme as possible, kind of a thing. Um, and I guess whatever rhetoric was told during their campaign speeches, it just got their attention and made them a fan, kind of a thing. Um, I was trying to tie it beautifully with the self awareness thing, but
Oh, like
it's eluding
do you
me
think
right
it's?
now.
I guess the way I could think about it is maybe because I before you said that I was actually going to say like even hear that in interpersonal relationships people argue they often don't really listen to what the other person says. They just go, well, you do this and that, instead of like, oh, so I made you feel that way when I did this. I think a lot of it is the echo chamber, and relating that to politics, a lot
I
of
could
it's
see,
like the
yep,
echo chambers. It's like
yep,
they're getting very different information, not just different opinions. It's not like they get the same facts and they disagree on that. It's they get different facts, different realities, different
yep,
stories. Like we're not even looking at the same thing. So it's like when someone on the left and someone on the right have an argument, it's like they're living in two different realities, and it's like they're both going to say you're doing this, you're doing that, and the other one's not looking at what the other one's saying, so they're not really listening or aware of where the other person's coming from in that
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that there is this disconnect between those two sides too, it's just driving a further ridge in American society, and it's like left, right, blue, red, whatever. And is it going to heal anytime soon? I don't think so. I think it's going to be quite a while, um, if ever. I honestly think within the next maybe 100 years, the U.S. The USA as it is, I don't really think it's going to survive. But
Yeah.
I'm probably wrong. I
I
hope
certainly
I'm
don't think
wrong,
we'll be
but
an empire anymore. But if we could not be an empire and have like a good economy and like
I'll
like
be for
that, I
I'll be
prefer
for
that.
that.
So,
Yep. Yep, my niece and nephews, they can live in that society. I'll be happy. If I ever have kids, um, yeah, hopefully they'll live in that type of country too. Like it's just more inward looking. And when you think about it too, this is such a large country with enough of a population, such diversity too, um, land wise, people wise, all that, climates, all that, natural resources. Like we're definitely self sustainable. We don't
yeah,
technically need
we pretty
to.
much got everything we need here. So
Yeah, exactly. I
yeah,
mean, the like prime example, Super Bowl. Does the rest of the world, except for Canada, maybe care about the Super Bowl? No, no one gives a shit about the Super Bowl. Okay, you might have some Germans who might watch the Super Bowl. You might have some British
oh
people,
yeah,
Australians
that
watching the
actually
Super
made
Bowl.
remind me of that one random anecdote. It reminded me of this one drunk German girl I saw on the train once going, "My team won the Super Bowl." Yeah,
Yeah, like yeah, I mean
yeah,
that's quite random. All right, yeah,
yeah,
obviously you'll have those types of non-Americans, not North Americans who will follow the NFL and Super Bowl, but I mean for the most part, no one else gives a shit. But the Super Bowl, it still what draws in millions of people, still draws, it earns billions of dollars. Like that's pretty much like the American economy in a nutshell. Like we're self-sustainable. We don't really need to deal with other people. I'm not saying that we should become exclusionist and just kind of
Yeah.
become isolationist. But if the rest of the world's like, all right, you know what? I mean, they're already doing this anyway. They're pretty much like trying to boycott the U.S., which I don't blame them. Like the U.S. is still going to be self-sustainable, I think, and if
Yeah.
the rest of the world wants to disconnect from the U.S., again, I don't blame them. So be it. I think the U.S. can still be a fairly strong nation economically. Probably not as the wealthiest in the
Yeah.
world. Probably fall out of the top 10, but still, as long as it's comfortable, that's all I really care about. I just want to be comfortable. I know comfort, that word, it's been kind of bandied about in social media, being like, oh, comfort's a dangerous word. Like you should always improve. But all right, the U.S. is trying to improve, but it's trying to improve in like various ways. And honestly, at this point, I just want
Yeah.
comfort. I don't want all this fucking chaos right now. Like you're trying to change the country in certain views, and look where it fucking is. Fuck,
Yeah.
like fuck right now. Yeah, it's yeah,
And then they view that as entitlement, but to me, it's just like I don't want anybody. I don't think anybody should ever have to be homeless or not afford to eat. Like the
yeah,
basic
exactly. Yeah,
needs should be
yeah,
met. Yeah.
yep.
And whatever
And
else you want to work towards after that, fine. But like, I feel like, and they say that would make people lazy, but I feel like more people would actually pursue what they want if they, because like if they're not able to make ends meet, you're going to be focused on just like putting um, food on the table or whatever. But if you know that you're not going to run out of food or whatever, then you can more aspire to what you actually want.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And there'll be more money to people have more money, like they'd be able to put more into the economy and stuff if people weren't, the consumers make the economy too. So it's like, yeah,
exactly. And like I get it. Like for pretty much since I don't know the creation of all these of society, basically, you're always going to have one mega wealthy person, and then just kind of feeding everything up, like upwards, like like an upward funnel kind of a thing. And but at the same time, if you're going to squeeze out people like you and me for every fucking penny, well, no
yeah,
more penny, the nickel, I guess. It's like, well, all right, so like, how are we
yeah,
gonna keep the economy going, and how are we gonna keep the billionaires wealthy, and how are we gonna feed ourselves to it? It's basically gonna become the feudal times in like pre what 1800s kind of a thing. But it's yeah,
yeah, yeah, and like relating that to self awareness is kind of well, actually, it kind of also related to like the balance thing you were talking about because like yeah, it's okay to reach success and everything, but then when there's an imbalance, it's like you have people starving and then people that have like billionaires, like they have that's too much of an imbalance, and it's like it's okay to do some stuff for yourself, but then it's like you also gotta like give back a bit too. I think like that's what the balance is, and also it made me think of like the self awareness, like as a country too, because like looking at our role in the world, like Ron Paul, I didn't agree with him on economic stuff or some of the social issues like um, abortion and stuff like that. But on foreign policy, like I think he made a lot of good points. That he was like the libertarian candidate in
yep,
2012. But like he said things like, um, well, actually Republican, but he was a libertarian. But
yeah,
he was like, how what if people did what we do to them to us? Like like looking outside instead of just like because like looking at it from our perspective, how other countries would be affected by our actions and everything. That was kind of like applying a self awareness stance to like a national or a global level. So
yep.
I think we
And
kind of need to do that. Yeah,
that's actually a great point too. Like, and when you think about it too, when Trump was first elected back in 2016, there's just been this kind of explosion, this right wing populism movement around the world, like in Brazil with Bolsonaro, and the kind of like far right, fringe right wing parties in Europe. Isn't the right movement kind of a thing? And I remember this Swedish politician, I forgot what her name is, but she was actually praising Canada for their openness. And the funniest part too about that Swedish politician is that She's actually a Swedish far right winger. So what does that say about the Trump MAGA movement? I guess it's becoming a dud now.
Yeah.
And Brazil voted back in the leftist candidate Lula da Silva. Um, so I think
I
a
think
lot of
it kind of had its wave of being popular, but now people are like, "Now this shit actually isn't working." Like,
exactly, yep. And that's like that self awareness aspect too that we were mentioned before. It's like they're like back then, yeah, we need this movement, but after a while, it's like, yeah, we should kind of fix things again, or make it more moderate, or make it back
yeah,
again.
because I used to be like, oh, like sometimes I would like vote third party or whatever, but now I'm like, it's only going to be one or the other that's going to win, even if it is like a lesser of two evils. And there's the bad, and I think that we should have a change where it's not just where it's better than lesser two evils, but like in the meantime, it's like people are going to be affected one way or the other, and there's no like, so like I just like, I guess that was something else I was thinking. Like it's not just about like just like the principle, because it's like that's pretty much just like a protest vote in a way. It's not like a real,
Yeah,
because it's going to be one or the other.
yeah,
So.
yeah. But I never really got the allure of like third party candidates anyway. So whenever I had what was it? I think it was 2016, 2020, and last year for the presidential elections, I kind of held my nose and voted for Clinton back in 2016, and kind of the same thing in 2020 for Biden. Last year, Kamala Harris, fine. Sorry, yeah, I voted Democrat through and through, but it was more so an anti-Trump vote than anything. It wasn't really a pro Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or pro Kamala Harris vote. It was just more anti-Trump. Yeah, I could have voted in a third-party candidate too, but I didn't like any of the third party candidates either. I'm not a libertarian, and going back to like the Ron Paul thing, him being Republican libertarian. When you think about it, most American libertarians are really Republican. It's like a spillover Republican Party. I mean, honestly, the libertarians just be like an affiliate with the Republicans anyway. But and the Green Party candidate Jill Stein, I don't really like her platform. There's really no other viable third party candidate in the United
Yeah.
States as well.
Well,
So
but I
it's
don't
like
like how she does the presidential election and then kind of just disappears the rest of the year. It
that
doesn't.
is a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's that guy. I think his name's Howie Hawkins or something like that. I've read into his background and political ideology. I thought, all right, he might be a viable candidate, but I guess he just doesn't have that gravitas to pull in enough votes. But I think he might be a decent candidate, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
But I guess kind of pivoting back to the main topic, with flaws and everything, I think a problem why part of the reason why people are afraid to look at flaws is just because it's a loss of identity, how you see yourself, and you might not, it might cause you to see yourself in a way that wasn't a part of like your identity or like how you like to see yourself. But I think the key is you view flaws as like information. You don't have to identify with the flaw. It's just like, okay, I did this action, but I don't have to identify it. And then like how did you develop those? And then of course then like trying to analyze how you develop those patterns. But I guess like therapy or even just like introspection can be good for, like, why do I react this way in this situation, instead of judging it, acknowledge it. Like what's the patterns that um
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, do you have any experience with that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember back in like my early 20s. I remember I took a semester off from college because at that point I was like really angry at the world. I was just depressed and kind of just basically hated myself for lack of a better term. So I was like, you know what? Let me just take a break from everything in life. Just take a pause from college life, whatever, just in life in general, and just kind of have this inward introspection aspect of all right, how can I improve my mental well being, just my overall well being, kind of a thing. And it was from that point on, and so I thought like a therapist and all that stuff. Spoke out my issues, and I thought, and I didn't really take any pills. I knew if I took any pills like Zoloft or whatever, it might ruin my state of mind. So I was like, you know what, I just want to do this just clear headed, just go in, talk things out, kind of a thing, and try to see if my own brain can fix things. Because my whole viewpoint on that was, if my brain got me to this point in life, at that downward point, it should be able to pull me back out of it as well. That was my mindset, and I still kind of have that mindset as well. It's like, all right, if my brain got me to this point in life, it can dig. I can dig myself out of it, kind of a thing. Or at least my brain should be able to dig
Yeah.
dig itself out, kind of a thing. So from that
I've
point
had
onward,
similar thoughts, kind of like, like if I fucked this one thing up, well, that was probably what my thoughts and my behaviors. So it's like then I could get a better outcome with if I change my thoughts in a different situation. But what were you saying? Go on with that.
no, yeah, no, yeah, basically the same thing. It's like it's kind of like retraining, rewiring your brain, kind of a thing, to think certain way. Because throughout my teenagers, I was just depressed and I just kind of like let myself go, kind of a thing. And I was like, all right, you know what? I got myself to this point. I need to dig myself out, kind of a thing. But I still need help. At least I still had that self awareness to ask for help and seek therapy and try to improve myself. While that person that we mentioned before, our mutual um, ex friend, if you will,
Yeah,
I don't think I don't think he would have that capacity to try and change. I mean, I hope he does,
yeah.
but I honestly don't think he
He
will.
blames everybody else. Like even
Right,
though I think it was
exactly.
everybody
Yep.
who pretty much turned against him for his behavior. So yeah,
Exactly. It's like everyone else is wrong, I'm right,
yeah,
or even if I'm wrong,
yeah.
everyone else is even more wrong. So fuck them. By default, I'm still a winner, kind of a thing.
Well,
And
not even to go into not to go into details, but like even he had some legal issues because of it too. But that still didn't
yeah,
get him to
yeah,
change.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the fact that he, even with even with people telling him, hey, we're gonna have to call in the cops, he's still like he still doesn't think anything is wrong. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Like
yeah,
like to even get to that point of someone saying, "Hey, I'm gonna call the cops on you," and you
yeah.
still think that no, I'm not in the wrong. There's something severely wrong about that.
Yeah, to
Extremely
not
wrong.
catch it like much earlier. Like I
Yeah,
don't get.
exactly. Like, yeah, like I remember, what was it, on Friday night coming back after the improv jam where you and I attended. I just got out of the 7 train shop, like just, got out of the 7 train, and there's like a group of cops there, and like I've obviously done nothing wrong. I'm just walking out, just trying to transfer to the next bus to get back home, and there's like a group of cops just like chit chatting, shooting the shit, kind of a thing. Just colleagues, being colleagues. Um, they were looking at me, I was looking at them, and it was just like a random thing. But like I had that self awareness of like, okay, I've done nothing wrong, but oh my god, it's the cops, kind of thing. I was like, you know what? I'll just put my hands on my backpack straps and make sure that they're not in the pockets. That way they don't think like I'm some sort of a suspect, kind of a thing. But this motherfucker, the person that you and I know, to have someone tell that person, hey, I'm gonna call the cops on you, and still think I'm not doing wrong. Like, come on. Like, at least I have the self awareness to be like, all right, I've done nothing wrong, but it's the cops, whatever. This guy, I've
Yeah,
done many things wrong. I don't care if you call the cops on me because I could probably talk my way out of it. I think that's just fucking terrifying.
yeah.
And,
To
and,
just live
and
in a
I'm
world where it's just like at you against everybody, like
exactly.
with no self reflection of why things are happening the way they did.
Yep, yeah,
Like it's just everybody else is wrong. They're just being mean to that one person. Like the cops, like pretty much everybody knows it's not their fault. It's just that he's a great person, and the world doesn't see it. So,
yeah. And that's sad. I honestly hope he does have the self awareness to try and change. But again, at his current age, he's like what, mid 40s now. Honestly, I think all hope is lost. Especially if he didn't try to seek help before, and I don't think
yeah,
he mentioned that he ever sought help either. I think he kind of used improv to kind of meet new friends. Again, there's nothing wrong with meeting new friends through improv. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I joined improv was to meet new friends, and I've met you, and I've met
yeah,
countless other awesome people through improv. But his whole life is basically only improv, and he literally does improv like 6 7 days a week. I don't know about now because he's been um, effectively banned for life, I think, from two improv theaters
yeah,
in Manhattan. But I mean, it's sad that that's pretty much his one outlet for entertainment, social life, and yet he also keeps shooting himself in the foot by just having this mentality of I'm better than you, essentially, and I think that's just sad.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is kind of, and it's kind of I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's delusions of grandeur or just like self destructiveness. It could be either one. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, it's I think those two aspects are somewhat intertwined too. Like to have that illusion that I'm the greatest in the world. I mean, at some point, like if you reach the top, I mean, you're gonna have to fall back down. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
unsustainable to be always at the top too. I mean, yeah, you could still stay up on top, but all right, now what? You've conquered life. Okay, well, good for you. What? Like, you want a fucking cookie from us? Like, what the fuck? Like,
And what's been a time that you like a flaw or weakness like has been an opportunity or growth for you?
for me, it would definitely be that year in college or that semester where I skipped, just to kind of work on myself, that introspective aspect, and it was really from that point onwards where I noticed a kind of a marked change from my teenage years to mid 20s, late 20s, and 30s, and just kind of like living through life, having more life experience and all that stuff. To this point, I definitely feel like um, I've changed. I wouldn't say a lot, but I've definitely changed. But it still all ties into that one semester where I took off because I was like, you know what, I can't. I feel like I'm just gonna like lash out, and
Hmm.
I didn't want to do that. There were moments too when I would be just screaming at people, and I'm like, whoa, God, like I have to reel it back in because if I didn't do that, I probably just would have just let my rage control me, and I who knows where I'd be. I might be in prison. I might be dead. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty much from that moment onwards.
Hmm.
Yep.
So now, and now you're in a better place because of it. Yeah.
I'd say definitely much better compared to then. I mean, obviously I still want to improve, but like now and then, yeah, I definitely say that I'm in a better place, and I just realized I should probably turn on my lights. Another,
Yeah.
yeah, uh,
Yeah. And I was just thinking like I guess in my case like I think not like certain like social things or communication things not coming natural to me kind of got me on the path of being a better communicator and a better listener and seeking out and like learning ways to like communicate better and then get putting myself out of my comfort zone, trying new things, uh, you know, going somewhere where I don't know anyone, like meeting new people and like doing stuff like the podcast, the act. I think I probably wouldn't have done a lot of the stuff I did if I just like naturally being social came being social and all that came to me naturally because I wouldn't have anything I needed to work on or improve with that, so I wouldn't have a reason to like do the podcast or do this or do and I think a lot of the creative stuff comes from that too because sometimes that's like a unconventional way to create is like through the arts and stuff. I mean to communicate is like through
yeah,
the arts and all that.
yeah. No, that's actually a really great point too. Like with improv, it's definitely a setting where I mean the whole history of improv, it didn't really come from comedy. It came from like I think a therapist for people who were working with autistic children. I mean, so it's basically rooted in like an altruistic, positive type of environment. And then
Yeah.
someone had the idea to make it humorous, but it still all came from like more of a therapeutic background, like, or not really therapeutic, but um, what's that term? I guess counseling, if you will. Is it counseling? Whatever the case is, it came from
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
I guess so.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's your name? Viola Spolin, I think is her name. She was the one who created improv, basically, especially improv games. But whatever the case is, I digress. But like with improv in general, like it kind of nurtures positivity. It nurtures a sense of community as well, and I think that also kind of draws in people like the person that you and I mentioned before, because to them it's a safe space. They can be themselves, kind of thing. It's like, oh my god, I can be this way and still be welcome. Like, wow, this is revolutionary. Like, I'm pretty sure that person that we know was mercilessly picked on in school, and he probably was at his wit ends, um, wits end rather, and he was like, all right, you know what, I might lash out, but I'm guessing he found improv, and he was like, all right, this is my outlet, and this is my community. These are my people, and I'm gonna try to build my own, uh, I guess, empire, if you will, for improv. And he did. Except his personality, his mentality, just kind of led him to his downfall as well. And but that's the beauty of improv. Like, it is a nurturing community, but and the fact that it does draw people from various neuro neurological conditions into this community. It I guess could be good and bad. But yeah, uh, I wish there was like a pause button for like certain moments where it's
Yeah, well, I could definitely edit out parts where like that stuff is okay. Yeah, and I guess that it's all not about being perfect, but it's about progress. It's about
exactly.
because first example that came to mind. Somebody's trying to quit cigarettes. They smoked their first cigarette in months, and then it's like, oh shit. But it's like, you know what? I only had this amount, unlike last time when I had this amount. So like, I'm looking at how I'm doing better than I was before. Like, even if I'm not where I want to be.
True.
That was just the first example that came to mind. So.
Yeah. That's a good aspect too. Like during COVID, I barely smoked because I mean I didn't want to, and there really was no need. I wasn't exactly stressed out from work or anything, aside from like those anti-Asian attacks on the streets, which I mean I was, I guess, targeted in a sense, not physically, but whenever someone would just walk by, they'll just do that passive aggressive cough thing, and I'm like, well, fuck you too, bud. But at the same time, no one really fucked with me like more
Yeah.
extreme than that. But so there really
That
really
was when
was
there
no.
was like the attacks on Asians. You mean? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying? Or
exactly. Yep, like during
yeah,
COVID.
yeah,
Yep, like in the subways and all that stuff. Which I mean, fine. Um, but I remember this one day. It was December 2021. It was around the holiday season, obviously, and I was like I was pretty much in holiday mode, and but I remember I had to do something, and my supervisor at the time, no one liked him. No one still likes him. He finally accepted another offer in another department, so I'm pretty sure people in that office were rejoicing that he left. But at that time, he just kept just drilling me about something. Like, I need this now. Like the whole deadline thing stressed me out so much to the point of like, man, I want to punch the wall kind of a thing. But I'm like, you know what? I'm wiser now. I have to kind of reel in my anger. Let me try to, I guess, channel it into a more positive way. And the
hmm
positive way was, cigarettes. Like, obviously, tobacco is not positive at all, but
yeah,
like, I was like, you know what? Instead of punching the wall where it might lead to a crack and I might have to explain myself if I'm busted or if I might break a bone, whatever. Instead of doing that, you know what? Let me just destroy my lungs. So pretty much from that point onwards, I've been back on smoking, and I'm like, fuck. It's been what, 4 years now. Do I know that I have to quit? Yeah. Should I quit? Yeah, absolutely. Will I quit? Like, I always find reasons to not quit rather than quit, which
yeah,
is also sad. Um, but I, I I kind of have some hope for myself in the fact that I've attempted quitting numerous times and I've succeeded. Well, I would say succeed, but I've been um, smoke free for like months on end sometimes, or even like 2 years, until I find like a really hard trigger where it reminds me, wow, you know what? Maybe smoking isn't that bad, kind of a thing. Like I remember another time when I stopped smoking for at least like a year and a half. This was
yeah.
2013, I think, 2012 into 2013. Um, like I felt fine. I was healthy. I was breathing happily and normally and all that stuff. And then I was watching a playoff hockey game. It was Game 7. One of the stupidest reasons why to return to smoking. But my hockey team was up 4-1 in Game 7 in the third period with 10 minutes left. I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to advance. Cool, right? No, wrong. The other fucking team came roaring back, evened it up at 4 with less than 1 minute to go. Game went to, I think, 2 overtimes. Whatever the case was, the game went into overtime. The other team won 5-4. I remember the goalie was sprawled out on the ice trying to make the last minute scorpion type save, and the Boston player just kind of wrapped it around. I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to punch the fucking world kind of a thing. And I'm like, you know what? I need a cigarette. That was again, that's the most stupidest reason to return to smoking, but that was another reason. The COVID moment 2021 with my idiot boss, power driven boss, just driving me to that point too. Like I always find triggers to return to smoking, and now I have to find a trigger to quit smoking once and for all. Then well, tying it back to our topic, self awareness. At least I know, like, to find the trigger to quit smoking, whether it's long term health issues or whatnot. Like, as long as I have that in the back of my mind, I think I will hopefully be successful in quitting smoking like once for all. But we shall see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good luck on that. That journey.
Darker right now. Like I really got to turn on. Like fucking hell, what the hell am I doing? But yeah. Yep.
So I guess to wrap it all up,
Yep.
I guess the way to move forward is to, I guess, or the goal, which is, it's not like an end goal, it's like an ongoing goal, is to be someone who knows their strengths, understands their flaws, learns from mistakes, and moves forward confidently.
Exactly.
And I was also thinking, like, in that case, like, then you wouldn't, the fear of like what other people say to you or think goes away too. Because if somebody says something that's true about you, you'll be like, yeah, that's right. And if somebody says something not true, you'll be like, that's not true. Like either way, it won't matter because like you'll be self aware of all your layers and everything.
So. Yeah. True. Yep. Well, this is this kind of felt like a therapy session. Like,
nice.
yeah.
So it helped you in some ways, or
Oh yeah. Well, like
nice.
I like just talking about the stuff with a buddy. It's like it's like
Nice.
free therapy. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that was my calling all along. I should have been Dr. Kneese, the therapist. Or, yeah.
You know what? There's still time. Fuck it. Like, why not?
All right. Well, that's about it for this episode of Let's Talk About the Deep Stuff. You can follow me on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, Instagram, Sean K Vibes, or Let's Talk About the Deep Stuff. That's about it for this episode. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cool.